was about to leave the house in ski wear.
I know, it's so cold.
Yeah, but it's not that cold.
Well, when I heard you were making a country record, I was a little surprised. I was like Beyonce, everyone's...
I was surprised too, because, you know, it came around. We were actually at this hotel when Olivia Harrison was reading poems from her book to George. And there was about 80 of us here. It was up here somewhere. And T-Bone was one of them. Keltner was there. You know, a lot of pals were there, but T-Bone I bumped into since the 70s. And what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? You know, one of those, hey, fine, good to see you, man. And yeah, I'm making EPs because that's all I've made through the pandemic so far. And if you have a track and you want to put some meat on it and send it to me, that would be great. Okay, you think about it. And he sent me one. And you know when you've just no idea that you didn't think. It was a country track and I'm doing pop rock. And wow, it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful song I've heard in a long time. And so I thought, because of him sending me that, and I loved it, I'm going to do a country EP. So I got a few pals to write songs and put some meat on. I haven't put meat on now, and then I'll put the rest on. And then I thought, well, you know, I've just, Linda Perry just wrote 4 songs and produced them, because I asked her for a song like 3 years ago, and we became pals, and she said, Ringo, let me do the EP. I said, okay, you know, it's okay. And she did that, and then I thought, wow, maybe I could get T-Bone to do an EP. So he was coming into town. I said, come on over, I want to talk to you. And I said, have you got any songs? He says, yeah. I got 9. So I thought, oh my God, would you want to produce it for me? You know? And he said, sure. And so he did all the Nashville stuff in Nashville, and I did the drums and sang it here. And but it just came about, you know? And so that's how we got into the country song. And I'd written one with my pal Bruce Sugar, and that we had ready on the EP. And, you know, and so we put that one on, at least, as well as all of the ones he put together. So it just, you know, I love that you make a right turn and it turns into, you know, really a good couple of days. I know some of the work he's done, but we'd never worked together. And, you know, I keep telling people this story that in the 70s, I used to throw a lot of parties, and he was always there, and I never invited him once. So he'd come with the band, you know, Leo. So he'd be coming with people who I knew, but we often laugh about that. And now we've ended up doing a record together. It took a while, mind you, but it's done, and I love it, and he loves it, and let's hope you love it. Even with other people writing me songs, I always like change it that it went up. You know, like Linda's the great example, the February Skies, you know, that's the dark skies in LA. But the last bit, we open up, there's a bit of light shining through. And I do that with all the songs. I'm getting what I emotionally feel, you know. So yeah, I put it in the song.
It seems like country really, more than any other genre except for maybe soul music, really allows a purity of emotion. You know, you really get to pour it straight in without irony. You just get to get emotional as you want. Is that what you like about it?
Yeah, but it's always been about, you know, the dog's dead, the wife's left, I don't have any money for the jukebox, and, you know, so like things are happening, you know. So it's sort of, that's the country style. I came in with Hank Williams, and it was great, and then many others came in. But I also love the blues, and I love pop, and I love Motown, you know what I mean? I've just got like a mixed bag. I don't only listen to that. And country was great, and in Liverpool, it's the capital of country music in England, you know, because a lot of I think it all stems from it being a port, and why we got rock and roll music physically was because the lads on the boats would be going to America, you know, they'd be going to Egypt, they'd be going all over, but they were bringing music in. And in my neighborhood, like every third house, one of the lads was in the Merchant Navy. And so they'd bring stuff home, and every mother had a camel seat saddle, you know. You knew the boy was in the merch. Ringo and the All-Stars gives me a great opportunity to play behind all those other guys and then to front it myself. So it's just like part of being me. And even with Rory Storm, we had the Ringo Starr time, and I'd do like 3 or 4 numbers. So it's just been like the way I ended up doing stuff. And with the Beatles, of course, they'd give me 1 track, a record. And some of them were country-ish, yeah, from Carl Perkins on, you know. And then, you know, I ended up with Buck. And, you know, he did that song, and I then did my version, and he and I did a version together. So it was so great. Well, I think they're the younger people who are traditional. You know what I mean? They are in that vein now. Country music got a bit pop and pedal steel. You know, from when he sent me the first song, was very countryish, and I even whistled on it, and because it was like a lonely time, and you know, you can put a lot of emotion in country songs, you know. And once we were laughing, and what are you going to call the album? I thought, be on say. But nobody laughed. But that was just having fun, because she was great anyway, you know. And you know, music is open. You know, you can do rock, you can do this, you can do that. You know, you don't have to be like stuck.
I was going to ask why country seems to be having kind of a moment, and maybe that's the reason, is that people, there is a moment when people are feeling free to put stuff together.
Well, mine came together. I mean, I didn't think of any of that. I just thought, I'm going to do it. And it's getting good reception in Nashville. And, you know, when I play with the All-Stars, we usually play the Ryman, you know, Ringo at the Ryman. And it's like, oh my God, you know, I'm at the Ryman. It's an emotional moment for me. I think 5 times I played it to get on that stage, and they've all been here. We're doing a TV special in January, which I'm excited, because we're going to be doing like some of the other songs and some of the country songs, but we'll be doing Little Help from My Friends in a country fashion, country style. You know, I've done 20 albums, yeah, and there's always a track country-ish on each one. It's not that I let it go. But it, you know, it wasn't like this is what I do. And I, you know, as I was saying at the beginning, I love mixed bag. A lot of, you know, from blues to rock to, you know, the Eddie, you know, the Buddy Holly period, and where, you know, rock, that started. Because even Little Richard, all his songs are swing. And I have to thank my stepfather for that, because he loved big bands, and he would play them to me. And he'd also say, Billy Eckstein and this person, you know. So I think I swing automatically. If anyone talks to me, I say, oh, he swings. It's just how it is, you know what I mean? I didn't know, I got to do the swing. But that gave me a style, I think, and also being left-handed, left-handed on a right-handed kit, because I knew no better. I was in this music store in Liverpool, and you know, I didn't have a kit or anything, and I just sat on it and that's the way it is. You know, I never once, well, move it to the left, no. Now I can't play. The only time I have to play left, move the drums around, is if I play reggae, because the one is in a different place. I think it helps that, you know, he thought the songs were good, that's why I presented them, and I did them because I thought they were great, you know. And they all have an emotion. And then you were talking about, he brought Billy in, and Molly mainly, you know, and several other people, of course, but that's the younger crowd coming up. And I think in country, you can be a mixed age, you know. You could have Willie and Molly, you know, that would be great actually, because it does look a bit crazy when, you know, by now the 60-year-olds are doing heavy metal, you know. But the kids, you know, the music's changing again, and you know, we have several musicians in my grandchildren. One of them's on the road. He's a drummer, but he's one of those drummers on guitar or whatever you want to give him, he can play. So, you know, the beat goes on. Marty was like the producer of this, and he had another guy directing it. And it was like, that was it, and now this is the thoughts of that we had. And it was really great because it was very live. I mean, they just like wandered around. When we did the train from New York to Washington, I mean, they were just filming us, and we'd either get involved and have a laugh, or, you know, answer questions. And so, yeah, I think it's interesting, but I did read on the internet somebody saying, not another documentary. Yeah. But, you know, Peter did a great job on the last one. Can you imagine that they found 56 hours of unused footage, all company of Apple, you know, and Peter put it all to good use.